Hey guys, vlog number 3 here. Today is, let's see, October, geez, I think it's the 20th today. Standing out by our bees here. Not a whole lot of activity going on today. It's pretty cold. We got about 43 degrees out this afternoon. Standing next to the beehives that are real close to one of the plots that I planted earlier this season that we've been talking about for a while. Spin here and we can see it behind me there. So this is the plot that I started planting or planted in August. It was about second week of August, I'd say, that everything got planted. We're gonna turn the camera around, take a look at some of that stuff, and we'll keep talking about some of the things that are happening on these plots. All right, so this is plot 1 that I started putting cover crops out this year. This is where I started with anything that I tried, my mix. Probably in an earlier video you might remember me saying that I thought this was corn. Again, some things that I learned. This is sorghum Sudan grass coming up. Actually, my dad told me about it. He remembered a farmer friend of his that used to plant a low area of his farm with Sudan grass so that he could cut it down and use it for baleage, for covering the stalls for his cows. He was a dairy farmer, and he thought this was the best for weight unit per acre, so he could get the most mass out of it per acre. It's coming up pretty slow for us. I don't know if that's a soil thing. I don't know if that's just the time of year that I started it. I'm going to try a few different things next year to see what all changes. As you can see, looking through there's definitely some weeds out here still. I didn't plant enough radish in here to really shade out any of the weed and anything that's back here. This soil to the back here, we're kind of on a tree line here, and then that dark shaded spot you can see back here, that's another very, very thick tree line. All this property that we have back here is kind of always been more dense and more wet, and it doesn't produce anything very good. We've done things like squash and pumpkins out here before, but they don't really produce that well. I'm going to walk over towards the trees a little bit more and show some of the ground here. I still got bare ground here. Nothing even came up in this section here. I don't know what that is or why. You can see how sparse it is in these areas. It's so low. In this back corner right here, we got our driveway, so we can drive through here and drive tractors and our side-by-sides over here to get around all of our plots. And right next to it, right here over, has been very sparse. I can't get much to germinate in here. That's why I'm doing the cover crop in this section first, to see what I can do with that and see if I can't make this better. What we're looking at here is about a 1/4 acre plot. All this green out here is stuff that I had planted probably about 3 weeks after the initial plots where the video started. This is mostly peas. I did Austrian winter peas in here with radish, and what you're looking at, or what you can see, is mostly radish. The radish just came in very heavy in here. We're also seeing some buckwheat, and I put some annual rye in here. The radishes definitely overtook. So what's next to it here, I got some cabbage and some broccoli started, and then as you can see, after that was where the corn was that we talked about in one of the first videos there. After that is our driveway, and then beyond that we had watermelons and some butternut squash in that back plot over there. Looking to try to redo or replenish this back portion of these 4 1 acre plots that we have here. Just try to get this back portion real close to the trees, like I talked about before. We got a tree line here running all the way down. You see the bees there again, and then as you just keep looking, all those plots that I had planted earlier. What we're trying to do is break the ground up in here, get a little bit better drainage. This ground stays pretty hard, dense, real clumpy, and a lot of clay in it. So we're trying to break it up and just keep nutrition high so that we can start doing some annual crops like more broccoli and cabbage and cauliflowers and things like that back here. So I just found a pretty decent size tillage radish in here. I'm still in that plot that we just looked at. Just wanted to show you this one. We'll pull it out and see what it looks like and see what happens in the soil underneath. See if anything cool happens. Hopefully you can see this pretty good here. You can see the size of that radish there. It's coming out of the ground pretty good, which is a good indicator that this ground is fairly solid. It's not able to really drop in there real nice. So the radish grows above ground quite a bit. But we'll pull it out and see what it looks like. So I had my hand cupped around the radish at the point where it came out of the ground there. And so we're looking at probably 10 inches maybe of radish that was in the ground. It's fairly big around. I'd say it's probably 2 inches around. Tapers down to a pretty good tip there. Obviously it's left some in the ground because there's a little, it's broken off there. So that root that was left in the ground is still going to be doing its job. Still in there. It's going to create a little passageway for water to drain, for worms to get into. But we're able to kind of take a look in the ground now and really see what happened in there. So I'll turn the camera around again. Hopefully you can see it pretty good. So that's the hole that it came out of there. Let's see. See it tightened back up already. Can't get my finger in there anymore. But that's alright. We know what it did and what it can continue to do, and hopefully the rest of the radishes that are in this plot will start to drive a little deeper into the ground and break it up a little bit more, and at least leave something there for the worms to eat at and to rot in, and will at least create some soil down here. I'm kneeling in the soil now. It is a little damp. It's been probably 5 or 6 days since we got the last rain, and it's still pretty damp in here, but this is a pretty dense covering. So I think that that's really part of the reason why we do some cover cropping and why we'll want to do that and leave the cover crop on the field as long as we can. If we can do a roll kill on some of this and plant directly into it with maybe some dry beans or corn or even some transplanted stuff like watermelons or some of our broccoli or cabbage or anything like that, we're going to get a really nice kind of hay coverage almost. So it'll be like spreading straw without actually having to do the work of spreading straw. With as late as it is in the season, I'm planning on this stuff just winter killing. We'll see what happens in the spring. In the spring we'll definitely be able to really kind of have this come full circle, and we'll be able to see what happens with it all. It'll hopefully all lay down. I think I'm probably still going to have to come out here with my seeder that's just a roll seeder, and I can use that to roll it down and really drive the matter to the ground and hopefully make sure it stays dead. Then maybe we'll try planting some stuff into it. I'm thinking I'll probably try some broccoli out here, if anything. So I pulled some of my daikon radishes to check them out and see how big they were getting. All these are planted in mid-August, I would say. It is currently first couple weeks of October, and this is the growth from mid-August or early August to second week of October. You can see the Sharpie marker there for size.